And well, news alert just coming in. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has put out the Indian government's strongest message yet in reaction to the Pahalgam terror attack. Extending condolences to families of victims, the Defence Minister lashed out at what he called a cowardly attack by terrorists targeting religion. He asserted India's firm resolve of a zero-tolerance policy against any kind of terrorism. Singh held out assurances that the government of India would take all required, all necessary and appropriate steps against the culprits with action which extends not just to the perpetrators of this attack, but all who conspire against India. Listen in to what the Indian Defence Minister said.
यहाँ मैं भारत के दृढ़ संकल्प को दोहराना चाहूँगा कि टेररिज्म के खिलाफ हमारी जीरो टॉलरेंस की पॉलिसी है। भारत का एक एक नागरिक इस कायरतापूर्ण हरकत के खिलाफ एकजुट है। मैं इस मंच से देशवासियों को आश्वस्त करता हूं, घटना के मद्देनजर भारत सरकार वो हर कदम उठाएगी जो जरूरी और उपयुक्त होगा। और हम सिर्फ उन लोगों तक नहीं पहुंचेंगे जिन्होंने इस घटना को अंजाम दिया है, हम उन तक भी पहुंचेंगे जिन्होंने पर्दे के पीछे बैठकर हिंदुस्तान की सरजमी पर ऐसी नापाक हरकतों की साजिशें रची हैं।
And those were strong words from India's Defence Minister. And on the broadcast now, we are now being joined by Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Sibal is joining us. Siddhant, in just an hour from now, Prime Minister Modi will be holding the much-awaited cabinet meeting to give us a clarity on how India will respond. But ahead of that, strong words from India's Defence Minister, who clearly outlined India's policy of zero tolerance towards terrorism and asserted that India will not only reach the perpetrators of the attack, but asserted that India will also reach out to those behind the curtains. A strong message indeed. The question now is, what is the bigger plan from New Delhi?
Well, a very strong message by the Indian Defence Minister short while ago. What is the next plan? Nobody knows as of now as to what will be the next step by the Indian government. But one thing is for sure, that there will be a strong response. There is an eerie resemblance when it comes to the Pulwama terror attack of 2019. And at that time as well, nobody had any idea about the strikes which India will be undertaking. This time as well, there are, of course, several options as always, and in fact earlier today the Indian Defence Minister chaired a high-level meeting where the three service chiefs and the Defence Secretary were present. The meeting lasted over 2.5 hours, and of course there was discussion on everything that is possible, and they reviewed the situation in Jammu and Kashmir. Now essentially we know that it is approximately just 24 hours since the terror attack has happened, and two things are clear. First, of course, is the urgency when it comes to the Indian government. The Indian Prime Minister cut short his Saudi visit. There have been high-level meetings all throughout the day. The CCS, the Cabinet Committee on Security, is due to meet shortly here in Delhi. That is what we are hearing. The second, of course, is the international support. We have seen condemnation after condemnation coming across the world. In fact, the US President Donald Trump, the Nepali Prime Minister, the Mauritius Prime Minister, the Australian Prime Minister spoke to the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and offered condolences. Now, we know that India's partners and friends have stood in the past with India after the Pulwama terror attack and India taking surgical strikes. What will be the response and how much there will be international support? Perhaps we'll get to know in the next few hours or perhaps some days.
Right, Siddhant, thanks very much for joining us on the show and getting us the latest on this.